Growing up, pasta wasn't just food in our house. It was love. It was family. It was tradition. Every Sunday, my Nonna would spend hours in the kitchen, her hands expertly kneading dough for her famous ravioli. The aroma of simmering tomato sauce, rich with herbs and spices, filled every corner of our home. Those Sundays were pure magic. As a child, I could devour plates of pasta without a second thought. I'd happily go back for seconds, even thirds, of Nonna's lasagna. And pizza? Forget about it. Pizza was a weekly ritual, a delicious reward after a long day at school. But as I got older, something changed. My beloved carbs, once a source of pure culinary joy, started to feel different. Gone were the days of endless pasta and carefree pizza nights. Instead, I found myself feeling sluggish and bloated after indulging in my favorite Italian staples. The energy crashes were the worst. I'd eat a plate of spaghetti and meatballs for lunch, and by mid-afternoon, I'd be reaching for a sugary pick-me-up. It was frustrating, and frankly, a little heartbreaking. What was once a source of comfort and pleasure had become a source of discomfort and guilt. I knew I needed to find a solution, a way to reclaim my love affair with carbs without the unwanted side effects. Little did I know, my honeymoon trip to Italy would hold the key to unlocking the mystery of my carb conundrum. The thought of going to Italy without indulging in its culinary delights was simply unimaginable. But the fear of feeling awful after every meal loomed large. I was determined to find a way to enjoy the food I loved without the negative consequences. That's when the idea struck me. Why not use my trip as an opportunity to experiment? I had recently heard about continuous glucose monitors, or CGMs. These small devices, worn on the arm, track your blood sugar levels in real time. I was curious. Could a CGM help me understand how my body was responding to the food I was eating in Italy? It felt like the perfect opportunity to conduct a little personal experiment. I imagined myself, armed with data and insights, finally cracking the code to enjoying carbs without the guilt and discomfort. My honeymoon wasn't just about romance and adventure. It was about to become a culinary investigation. Before we even packed our bags, I started tracking my blood sugar levels. I wanted to establish a baseline, a clear picture of how my body responded to my typical American diet. I diligently logged my meals and snacks, noting any spikes or dips in my glucose levels. The moment we landed in Rome, my experiment began in earnest. From that point on, every bite of pasta, every slice of pizza, every scoop of gelato was meticulously recorded in my food journal, along with my corresponding glucose readings. I have to admit, there were moments when I felt a bit like a scientist in a lab coat, meticulously analyzing every crumb. But the excitement of potentially uncovering the secrets of Italian food kept me going. I was determined to enjoy every moment of our honeymoon, but I was also eager to see what the data revealed. As the days turned into a whirlwind of pasta-making classes, vineyard visits, and romantic dinners overlooking the Mediterranean, I couldn't help but notice something peculiar. My energy levels were consistently high. The dreaded afternoon slumps that had become a staple of my life back home were nowhere to be found. I felt light, energized, and surprisingly clear-headed. But the most shocking revelation came when I finally sat down to analyze my CGM data. The results were astounding. My blood sugar levels after eating pasta and pizza in Italy were remarkably stable. There were no dramatic spikes, no terrifying plunges. It was as if my body was handling these carbs in a completely different way than it did back home. The contrast was undeniable. The same foods that sent my blood sugar soaring in the US were being metabolized with remarkable ease in Italy. It was a culinary revelation, and it left me with one burning question. What was Italy's secret? The more I thought about it, the more I realized that the answer to my Italian carb conundrum wasn't a single magic ingredient, but rather a combination of factors. It was about the quality of the ingredients, the way the food was prepared, and even the Italian lifestyle itself. One of the most striking differences was the freshness of the food. In Italy, meals are crafted with fresh, seasonal ingredients, often sourced from local markets or even the restaurant's own garden. The emphasis on simplicity and quality was evident in every bite. Then there was the matter of portion sizes. In the US, we're accustomed to supersized portions, plates overflowing with food. In Italy, portions were significantly smaller, focusing on quality over quantity. I found myself feeling perfectly satisfied without feeling overly full or sluggish. And let's not forget about the Italian approach to movement. Walking is an integral part of daily life in Italy. Whether it's strolling through cobblestone streets, exploring ancient ruins, or simply running errands, Italians are constantly on the move. This inherent culture of physical activity undoubtedly played a role in my body's ability to process carbs more efficiently. The case for less processing, from farm to fork, the Italian way. Back home, I started researching the science behind my Italian carb revelation. I learned that highly processed foods, a hallmark of the modern American diet, are often stripped of their natural fiber and nutrients. This lack of fiber can lead to rapid spikes in blood sugar, leaving us feeling tired and craving more sugary foods. In contrast, the Italian approach to food emphasizes fresh, minimally processed ingredients. From the ripe tomatoes used in their sauces to the durum wheat pasta, Italian cuisine retains more of the natural fiber and nutrients that help regulate blood sugar levels. I spoke to nutrition experts who confirmed my suspicions. They explained that the overabundance of processed foods in the American diet is a major contributor to blood sugar imbalances and a host of other health issues. It was becoming increasingly clear that my Italian carb experience wasn't just a fluke. It was a testament to the power of real whole foods. The power of portion control. When in Rome, eat like the Romans do. Another key difference I observed was the emphasis on portion control in Italy. While American restaurants are notorious for their supersized portions, Italian dining is all about savoring smaller, more mindful portions. Instead of viewing meals as a race to finish everything on our plates, Italians embrace a slower, more deliberate approach to eating. They take their time, savoring each bite and allowing their bodies to fully digest their food. This focus on portion control and mindful eating resonated deeply with me. It wasn't about deprivation or restriction. It was about appreciating food as nourishment and pleasure, without the guilt or discomfort. Dolce far niente? Not quite. Embracing the Italian approach to movement. While the Italian concept of dolce far niente, the sweetness of doing nothing, might sound appealing, the reality is that Italians are incredibly active. Walking is an integral part of their daily routine, and it's not uncommon to see people of all ages strolling through the streets, even late into the evening. This inherent culture of movement undoubtedly contributed to my improved carb metabolism. Regular physical activity helps regulate blood sugar levels by increasing insulin sensitivity, allowing our cells to more effectively use glucose for energy. I realized that my American lifestyle, often characterized by long hours sitting at a desk, was a far cry from the active Italian way of life. It was a wake-up call, a reminder that movement isn't just about hitting the gym, it's about incorporating more activity into our everyday lives. Mangia bene, vivi bene, bringing Italian wisdom home. My Italian honeymoon wasn't just a romantic getaway, it was a culinary awakening. It taught me that enjoying carbs without the guilt or discomfort is possible, but it requires a shift in perspective and a commitment to embracing a healthier, more balanced approach to food and lifestyle. Since returning home, I've been on a mission to incorporate the lessons I learned in Italy into my everyday life. I'm more mindful of the ingredients I use, opting for fresh, whole foods whenever possible. I've downsized my portion sizes, focusing on quality over quantity, and I've made a conscious effort to incorporate more movement into my daily routine. The Italian saying, mangia bene, vivi bene, eat well, live well, has become my personal mantra. It's a reminder that food is not the enemy. It's about making choices that nourish our bodies and bring us joy. And sometimes it takes a trip to Italy to remind us of the simple yet profound pleasures of